Welcome back to MMA Sucka Fight fans. Today I'm joined by Flore Hani, who is fighting next week, a week from today actually, at Invicta FC 46, taking on Kristina Williams in the flyweight division. Flore, how are you?
Good, thanks.
I know I butchered the name. I tried practicing it with you, but we I'm not sure how that went, so I
That's
apologize in
fine.
advance of
Don't
that.
worry.
All right, so you're facing, like I said, you're facing Kristina Williams in
Uh-huh.
the very middle of the card. There's 2 fights before and 2 fights after. Talk to me about how training's been going for this event, and talk to me about Kristina as an opponent. And she's very heavy with like kicks and stuff. Talk to me about how you're working on defending all of that.
Uh, well, I don't wait camp to train. Like I'm training nonstop all the time. Actually, I was like I didn't fly home for Christmas or anything, so I've been here constantly training, constantly in the gym. Because I'm the type of person I feel like you improve outside of camp. You don't wait camp to try to work. The camp should be just to focus on the fight. So yeah, I mean, when I got the fight proposed, I was like, yeah, sure. Because for me, it wasn't a problem. Like taking a fight 4 weeks out. Like I was ready. Like I say, I trained for everything all the time. And yeah, so I just like had to work pretty much on, according to the opponent you have. So yeah.
And you've been watching a little bit more tape as of late, from what I've heard. So talk to me about how that's helped you better game plan for opponents, and how that specifically. Obviously, you won't go into the game plan specifically about how you plan to beat Kristina, but maybe talk about some things that you've noticed that you might try to take advantage of.
Well, first of all, I mean, I'm not saying that in to be like offensive or something, but I think I'm a well-rounded fighter, like better, well-rounded fighter. Like because for me, no matter where the fight is gonna go, I be fine. Like on the ground, wrestling, striking, I be fine. I have an answer to anything. So for me, just that, I feel very confident about this. After, like I always say, it's a fight. Everything can happen. You never know.
That's
But
right.
yeah, I mean, for me, it's like, yeah, she's taller, way taller. I mean, I've been used to fight tall girls. I've dropped a lot of tall girls in boxing, actually. Um, so for me, fighting someone tall and long is what I'm used to. That's what I work for. Like most of my training partners are way taller than me. Um, so for me, I would say like she doesn't have anything special that makes me feel like, oh, I have to be worried about this or that. Like, of course, she has things that she obviously look comfortable with. Um, but like nothing that I'm really worried about, to be honest.
No, that
Don't
makes
get me
sense.
wrong, I don't take her lightly. Like I take her very seriously. Like I take seriously every opponent I have. Um,
And you're, like you said, you're ready for wherever it goes, no matter if it's on the
exactly.
ground, on the
I'm
feet,
ready for whatever.
clinch, anywhere. Yeah. Um, so you said that you haven't been back to your home of Tahiti since Christmas, since before
No,
Christmas.
no, I didn't go for Christmas. I was in August, September because I opened my gym. So I had to be home for a little bit, and then since I flew back in September, I didn't come back. I didn't go back. I didn't want to, lose time traveling, and because every time I do that, it's good to be home, but the problem is that it kind of like um cut off my training because when I'm in California, I'm definitely like on a schedule. Like I'm here to train. So it's my life every day, every day, every day. I'm in the gym like morning, night. So pretty much, when I go home, it kind of cut it off. I mean, it has some good part of it. You know, you take some vacation. That's what I did after my last fight, and especially because I had all this opening for the new gym and everything going on. So I definitely needed to be home, and it was good. But when I went back to California, I was kind of happy to go back to training. You know.
No, that makes sense. And since you've brought it up, let's go ahead and talk about you opened up a new gym in Tahiti called Sphere MMA. Talk to me a little bit more about why you decided to open a gym there and how everything's going with that so far. You're about a little over half a year in at this point. So talk to me about how the progress is being made there.
Actually, I already had a gym since 2018. What happened is that one of my friends, who was like one of my main training partner, he was more like a kickboxing guy and me more a boxing girl. Like we trained together for years. We were very friends, and he was co-owning this little gym he had in the center of Papeete, which is the main city of Tahiti. And he was sharing the gym with a dance teacher. And in 2018, she moved, and so she was closing a dancing school, and he needed someone, and he was like, "Hey, Flo, like, you don't want to go on the gym with me, like, cause I feel like a lot of people." I was starting to be pretty like famous in Tahiti, and he was like, "Hey, honestly, I'm sure people are gonna pay to train with you." I was already having a lot of requests of people asking me to teach them stuff, like a lot of privates. And I was like, "Oh, bro, I don't want to open a gym. Like, I mean, I don't feel like it," because especially I was traveling a lot for MMA, and I was like, I don't want to do that." And when I talked to my best friend, she was like, "Hey, you know what, no, do it, and when you're gone, like, I'm gonna deal with the gym and we would just take some coaches, you know." And I was like, I don't know, like, so the thinking about it last couple of weeks, and he really wanted me to be his partner for the gym, so we ended up doing it. And actually it started like right away. It worked. So I had like little, you know, mostly the coaches that I had in the beginning were my friends. Like we were mostly doing striking, conditioning, like, so I would say for like 2 years it was like that. But then we started to have so many more people. There was not enough room in the gym anymore because it was a small gym, you know. And and I was like, damn, if I want to keep my business, because actually the business was what was allowing me to live. I was like, I need to go somewhere else. Like, and for a while, my friend was like searching for a place to go without really searching. And one day, you know, like I believe in fate. You know, like things that are supposed to happen to you will happen to you. Things that are supposed to be for you will be brought to you. And you know, that's why, like, when something's not working in my life anymore, I'm always like, well, it wasn't meant to be. That's it. You know, like, I don't, for me, it's like I see it like that now. It's because something's better is gonna come behind. And this place, my friend was like, "Hey, someone told me about a place, like, just, you know, from out of nowhere, and I went to see it. It's free, and we can take the lease like tomorrow." And I'm like, "What?" She was like, "Yeah." And so she showed me the place. Like, obviously, there was everything to do in it because it used to be a garage for cars. But in my mind, it was perfect. That was exactly the way I was seeing it. Because I really wanted something that's going to look more like a American gym, you know? And so, yeah, we decided to do that. Actually, it took like, I would say, like a good year, you know, because to get the funds to buy all the equipments, and we were paying the lease during that time, you know. Find the system, like create everything, hire some coaches that were actually competent. Actually, I hired a coach from United States for the 10th Planet Jiu-Jitsu program because I opened in my gym the 10th Planet Tahiti program too. So I mean, it was a lot of work, like a lot of work, and yeah, my friend and me, we did all that, and now we have a shop inside the gym. We are opening up a smoothie bar too. It's finishing the construction of the smoothie bar at the entrance is finishing, and as soon as the academy opened, bam, so many people because we're the only gym to have something like that, like on an island, you propose a huge academy like that with brand new equipment, like crazy equipment. We bought zebra mats and cardio equipment, and you bring like competent coaches. So yeah, it's working, but now we have so many stuff to pay because of everything we bought. So I would say the money is not in my pocket, like. But I
But
knew
it will
it
be
was an
eventually.
investment. It was an investment because I knew that this is what I'm gonna focus on after I quit fighting. So
Yeah.
yeah. So yeah, the academy is working pretty good, and it seems crazy, but back home I'm a superstar. Like I'm the first ever professional fighter to make it that big, especially being a woman. So I mean, it's like for people to say, oh, they come and they train in my gym, even if they don't train with me, it's like big, So it's a good thing for me, for my future, I guess.
How does that make you feel being so big in not just Tahiti, but obviously Tahiti's a part of French Polynesia, which is its whole own island. Talk to me
Well,
about.
I'm famous in the whole French Polynesia.
Right. So yeah, talk to me about what it's like being such a groundbreaker for being somebody from that area.
First things, it makes me very proud because I love my country so much. Like I love Tahiti so much. It's in my heart all the time. I'm very proud. I feel like like deeper beyond the ethical aspect and the sports aspect. I have a real social role for my people. As a woman, I've been engaged a lot in like actions against domestic violence because this is a huge problem we're facing in French Polynesia. So I've been engaged a lot in this type of actions because when you have someone like me, what I represent, the image I have and everything, I know that it gives, when you have some woman who tell you you're really an inspiration, and it's good to have someone who speak up for us. It's really, for me, I feel like I really have a part to play for my people and where I'm from, way beyond the fact that I'm proud to carry the flag when I fight and I win. A lot of things too. I've been going to schools for young people from very like poor families and who have a very shitty background. We have a lot of problem of incest in French Polynesia, a lot of problem of prostitution, young prostitution, and drugs. And yeah, I've been asked if I could sometimes go and talk to those young generation, which is really lost. We really have a huge problem with the young generation back home right now. A lot of them are lost, and I think it's really hard because you have families who don't do their jobs, and it's a very big problem. We have a lot of violence, and yeah, I mean, I feel like having people. When I opened this academy, we also opened a program where we go like in some areas. We have like a deal with the different cities, and we do classes for like kids in some, bad neighborhoods and stuff like that. The coaches do that. When I went back home, I did it too because I was there. So, and the kids wanted to see me. So it was like, it's always good to like bring something. Just being me, seeing that I can bring something to some people, it's really, I feel useful. you know. I feel like everything I'm doing now as an athlete is gonna in next couple of years, actually give me a real part to play and really give me like probably a goal in my life, because I think with all my experience and the time that I will have on my hands, and maybe the image I represent over there, I can probably like help some people, the young people. Like when I have some young kids who don't really have money and they absolutely want to train, and I see they're really serious, they're really good kids, like I still let them come to the gym. Like if they don't have money for gears, like if I see they're very like deserving kids, I have some like that. I've got a little bit of them at my gym right now. I'm like, hey, I give them free gears and stuff like that because I feel like they deserve it, and I want them to like stay focused on something that can be good for them instead of going to the streets, sell drugs and do shit. So yeah, I definitely take my role seriously, very seriously.
That's awesome. And obviously you grew up partially in French Polynesia, and you grew
Mostly
up
in France. I
France
grew up
as
with my
well.
mom
Yes.
in France. Yeah, it was it was another vibe, completely another vibe. Yeah.
Talk to me about what it was like being raised in two, I would assume,
I
vastly
really, I
different
really was raised
cultures.
in the French culture more, because yeah, my dad always lived in France too, so it was my parents met in France. Like I grew up in France. I don't even speak Tahitian. It's just like I feel like you don't have to look like a postcard to really represent, and check all the marks to say, oh, I'm a real one, or I'm like, fuck that. It's just like I feel like everything that I do and I bring and the love I give to where I'm from, like my home, is way more important. That's why I said like it's for me, it's like never mind if I grow up in the French culture, my heart is Polynesian. My heart is Tahitian. So yeah, I really grew up more like, yeah, French culture. I mean, if we can say French culture, because South France is really like Italian, like immigrate. Like both of my parents has Italian blood, so it's actually like I grew up with grandparents that were like, very like strong with Italian culture too. It's very funny. Like I always, felt very multicultural, and that's probably why I didn't have any problem to live in United States later.
That makes sense. And you're not a fan of Paris. Yeah.
Fuck that. Fuck this. I always say when people ask me, oh, France, like no, don't talk to me about Paris. Paris is another thing. It's not France. That's why everyone thinks French people are assholes, because they go to Paris.
So
And I'm
obviously,
like, it's completely different, because south of France, where I grew up, we fucking hate them. When they come for vacation, we hate them. And people are always like, in United States, they're like, oh, it's like New Yorkers. I said, no, you take New Yorkers and you make them even worse. And you get a Parisian person.
that's funny. Oh,
I have some friends in Paris, like, I mean, it's just a cliche, which is pretty real, actually. People are rude as hell. They're rude. They're, I don't know. It's just, and they're never happy. But hey, if I was living into their life, I wouldn't be happy neither, But yeah, I mean,
no, that's fair. And you trained at the MMA factory there for a while in Paris.
not long, just couple months.
Yeah, but
Couple months.
were you there? You were there around 2018 or so. Is that
I was
right?
with Cyril. I trained with Cyril Gan.
You where I was going with that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Were you
he's a
were you
really
there
cool
during the time that all of that was happening? Did you have
guy.
any?
No. At this time, Francis was still part of the gym. Was mainly in Las Vegas at this time, because I arrived at MMA Factory the week after he lost his fight against Stipe, beginning of 2018. So he was staying in Vegas. I guess at this moment he was starting to think about doing some changes in his training for real. Because I never saw him at MMA Factory. He never came back during the time I was over there. So I was mainly Cyril every day. He was there every day. Like I actually really like this guy. At this moment, he was not even. He was just starting MMA. He was starting to fight in the TKO promotion in Canada. So yeah.
And you've been all over the world as part of fighting, and you were in the military for a long time, just sort of traveling all over the world. You were deployed to Afghanistan.
Talk to me about I wouldn't say it's the best part of my life. Like honestly, like I had nothing to say about it. You know, like I don't want to talk about this shit.
No, that's fair.
I mean, like I don't see anything interesting to say about it. To be honest,
that makes sense. I was just gonna say what I was gonna ask was I was really young that you've traveled.
Excuse me, sorry, because it was like delayed. Sorry, I didn't.
No, you're good. I was just gonna ask where some of your favorite places that you've traveled have been. Obviously, not Paris. Obviously, not Afghanistan, but some places that you've traveled for fighting.
France, though, France is really an amazing country. It's such an amazing country because where in the world, except France, in such a small country, you have so much diversity about everything: landscape, food, culture, because we have different dialects. It's an amazing country that the fucking Europe is killing, and that really hurts me because you know it's a very beautiful country and it's becoming a fucking trash of Europe. That hurts me, to be honest. But yeah, I've traveled in a couple places. I still have a lot on my bucket list because I'm a traveler. I love traveling. But I would say one of my number one destination was definitely Australia. I don't know, this place. It was amazing. Everything was amazing. It's a very, in French Polynesia we have a word for that. It's called the mana. It means like when you say there is mana, it means there's spirit in things. You know, there's a real spirit, and it's something that you feel. It's very more like spiritual, I would say, something very. And for me, when I went to Australia, I felt that. I felt the mana. You know, like I felt I was very connected to this land. I've met a couple Aboriginal people, and I've met amazing people over there, that true people in their hearts, and I think this connection I got with the people over there and the country itself was just amazing.
Yeah, I would love to visit Australia someday. What part did you visit?
Mostly between Brisbane, the Gold Coast, Sunshine Coast, mostly on this part of Australia.
Yeah, that just sounds...
I was actually training in Brisbane with Beck Rolling when I was over there. It was really nice. I've met nice people over there, really cool people.
Yeah, that's really exciting. Okay, I know that you're in the middle of your weight cut, and you've made it clear on your social media that you don't want to see or talk about food at all. So I guess I do have to ask one question. So when you do make weight, is there a go-to meal that you eat, or is there anything in particular?
Honestly, yes. I feel like, and don't get me wrong, it's something that I love, but I never eat it in my everyday life because I kind of check my weight all the time. Like I'm very careful with my food and everything. It's pastas and pizza. I go for pastas and pizza all the time after the weigh-ins. Like, I don't know why. When we were in Paris with Carla, I clearly, like, she was like, "What you want?" I was like, "I want pizza." And then I think I would pasta too. And there was like an Italian chain they have in France, and it's actually pretty good. And we went there, and I went to go get my huge pizza, and I looked at Carla's pastas, and I was like, hold on, I'm going to order some pasta too.
I want that too. That's funny.
So I ate the pastas and I brought the pizza back to the hotel. And like and then sometimes I want to go for sweets too, but I try to control the sweets craving because after you feel like shit, you know. But yeah, it's mostly the pastas, and I think it's my Italian heritage, you know. Like I want something like pasta and pizza for sure.
And that's the thing to do. I mean, when I was an athlete, if you couldn't tell, I did sports, but you probably can't tell because I've let that all go. But yeah, we always had pasta and stuff before the day before the event, loading carbs and things like that, so you can be ready to go. So that makes sense. And I mean, yeah, that's the way to go, I'd say. We'll stop talking about food though, because I know that will make you hungry while you're cutting weight.
That's okay. I mean, you know, honestly, going to 125 is not as bad as when I used to go to 115. That's why I stopped doing that, because I was literally like killing myself, and the starvation process was so bad that's why I was like gaining so much weight after fights, because I was so frustrated for a while that after I didn't know how to control myself anymore. No.
Do you think that's a problem across all of MMA, that people who cut too much weight maybe binge eat a little bit afterwards and they have problems cutting weight?
Of course. It's known. That's why you see so many fighters who change weight classes after a couple of years.
Yeah,
it's complicated. It's very complicated, and your body is not supposed to do that, you know. So, of course, and I feel like it's affecting women even worse because of our body is different. So, yeah.
But 125 is a lot better for you. And
it is. Yeah. It is definitely. I mean, like, it still asks efforts because I'm naturally a big girl. I mean, like, not big, but I'm not skinny. Like, you know, I guess from my genetic, I'm strong. You know, I'm just naturally strong. I naturally have huge muscles. Like all my strength and conditioning workout, I'm not allowed to touch weights. I only do explosivity, body weight workout, but I'm not allowed to touch weight because my coach was like, no, fuck that. Like, we don't need you to get bigger, you know, like. So it's something like I never lift weight, I never do anything, but I'm naturally very like muscular. I guess it's the genetic. I don't know, but yeah. So naturally, I would literally, like, even when I train, if I don't really control what I eat, I would cruise around 145 easily. So yeah, 125 is definitely something more better for me, just mentally, you know, because you don't stress about a drastic weight cut. Every time I was getting fight at 115, the war kept. I was not even like enjoying thinking the fight week was coming, because the only thing I was focused on is those 24 hours of suffer cutting 10 pounds of water. So at one point, you know, man, we do that because we love it. It's supposed to be something you enjoy doing. When you arrive in fight week, you should be like, fuck yeah, it's fight week, man. I'm ready. Like, at this point, it wasn't even like that anymore. It was just stress, and like, if you don't see your weight going down on the scale during just the process of the diet, because for me, it was already psychologically super hard to think I have to be 125 naturally dieting before I start 10 pounds of water weight cut. It was horrible. Just, yeah. So I was like, nah, let's stop this bullshit, especially missing weight. The last time I tried to do 115, I'm done.
No, that's fair. And I'm glad that this is a lot better weight class for you. You feel a lot healthier.
Yeah, I feel
it's even better for the fans too.
Excuse me?
I said that makes it even better for the fans too, knowing that fighters are coming in a lot healthier and more ready to go.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, a lot of people, that's why I did fight at 115, were always telling me, hey, you should fight at 115 because I'm short. But bro, I don't hit like a 115 now. And I know it because I spar with a lot of 115 now. I know it. And I think I'm fast enough and explosive enough to handle the 125 weight class. I don't care how tall the girls are, you know. A punch is a punch. So
yeah, I mean, it doesn't matter. I mean, getting punched in the face. I mean, yeah.
Getting punched in the guts is even worse.
What?
Getting punched in the guts is even worse. I'm a huge fan of body shots, so for me, it's like right there.
I almost get more squeamish with body shot knockouts than really bad like head kick knockouts and things like that, just because I can feel it more, and they feel it more. When you get knocked out in the head, you don't really feel it as much.
That's true.
Yeah. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and let you go. Before I do, though, go ahead and give all the shout outs you want, any sponsors, how people can follow you on social media and all of that.
Yes, so my social media, I mostly use Instagram. I mean, I have a Twitter too. It's arrobas at Aito Hine, AITOHINE.
Which is
yeah. So if you write Flore Hani, I think it's popping up. Yeah, there's also the social media for my gyms, Fair MMA Academy. So if people want to check it out and see, because if one day they go to vacation to Tahiti, they can come and train. Yeah, and yeah, definitely a shootout. Mostly, I wanna thank all my teammates and the coaches, the amazing team I have around me here in California, because I feel really blessed and I'm very grateful. It's very important to, thanks life when you have a good life. And I make sure that I do it every morning when I wake up. Like, I'm like, man, I'm grateful because I'm healthy. I live my dream. I have the life that I've chosen, and I have amazing people around me. Really, I feel like life has blessed me because she always put the right people at the right moment in my life. And just for that, I'm really happy. So I'd like to thank everybody here that care for me and is like helping me to be a better fighter and a better person every day.
Fantastic. Well, this has been Flore Hani, excuse me. And yeah, best of luck in your fight at Invicta FC 146. Oh my goodness. Invicta FC 46, a week from today, March 9th, in the organization that you watched that got you into MMA.
Because Invicta was huge, back in the moment where there was no woman in the UFC yet, and like I always say, like creating Invicta was amazing, and all the big names now that you have in female MMA, they mostly all went through Invicta. They've stepped into Invicta, and that's how they started their career. Most of, like, Carla, who's my main training partner. She's been the first throwaway champion, of Invicta. So I feel like it's amazing. Even better because I trained with both her and Beck, and they fought for the title in Invicta. So I feel like this promotion definitely put the lights on all the big names of female MMA.
Yeah, and you're going to be fighting there, so everything comes full circle for you, and it's a big opportunity for you.
It is. It's always an opportunity. Always an opportunity. I feel even if you take a loss, it sucks, huh? Don't get me wrong, but it's an opportunity for something else. It probably brought you something, showed you something, teach you something, And it's like, yeah, no matter what, it's an opportunity.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for your time today. Best of
Thank
luck in
you.
your fight next week. And we look forward to seeing you next week.
Thanks.